And we're back.
Okay.
You know what? I think we should have left that and then see if Ernest wanted to edit it out.
You know what? It's already there. So, I mean, I just stopped and restarted, so he wants to edit it in there.
There you go.
No, wait, no, he can't.
He can't.
In case he listens.
He can't. Okay. So, alright, I guess we're ready to get started, yeah?
Stop copying me.
Stop pressuring me again.
Okay, here we go. So,
Are we recording now?
we are recording.
Again?
Yeah.
Ahoy, nerds.
Oh boy.
Ahoy, yeah. No,
Sup, nerds?
Some
Captain, my
nerds.
captain.
Yeah, so this is this is our third podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
Number Trace.
Number 3. This is the official Las Vegas Gamers Unite
The
podcast.
best part about this is that we keep drinking.
I know, right?
More and more, there's more bottles.
That's
Where the last time we had like barely cracked into it, now it's almost gone.
No, it's
that's
almost
like halfway,
gone.
yeah, but it's not bad.
Right?
So yeah, we're officially into our third podcast, Las Vegas Gamers Unite third podcast. It's been fun so far, and I hope to continue the trend, right? So today the host is actually going to be Reed.
Woo! Yeah.
As usual, I'm Javier, and we have with us Natalie.
Say hello, Natalie.
What's up? What's up?
And Ray.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hi.
So
Wow.
coming off of our last Neopets podcast.
Oh gosh, yes. Which was actually like the better of the first two.
I know, right? We actually had more. We had a
Better of the first two.
We had a surprising amount of stuff to talk about Neopets.
Yes.
Yo,
Yes.
that's the topic.
That was the topic, but today's topic was actually picked by Reed.
Yes, it is.
You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. So as we've gone through the first weeks, we kind of decided that we would each host separately, and we would each pick a different topic to talk about in the weeks. And so the first one was what would
ARVR.
It was ARVR. That's right.
Yep,
It was picked by Javier.
Yep.
Yes.
And then the second week was Natalie. She picked Neopets out of a dare, I believe. And then it was kind of up in the air for a while, for maybe about a week, and we kind of all forgot that we were supposed to pick something. And I was like, hey, just like casually, how about we just pick like what our favorite console is, like, and you know why, and just talk about that. And so
Yeah, but before we get into that, let's gaming news.
gaming news.
Gaming news. Reed is our Overwatch correspondent, I think. So we'll start with the Overwatch correspondent.
Yes, today in Overwatch. Oh, there was an update. Okay, I'm just gonna talk normal. Today it was like a big update. Is first big like patch in a while, and there was a new tank added. Tank number 6. It's like a lady robot centaur with a Gatling gun arm, and her name is Orisa.
That is definitely someone's fetish.
Not if you'll see her.
You kind of beat me to it. I was gonna say like, first, is she single? Second, what's her number?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just not going to comment.
We're not gonna go there.
We're not going to go there right now. But no, I mean, so that's a pretty big update. She's like a support tank, right? Or I mean, it's like what's the name of the director of Overwatch, or not Overwatch, Blizzard? His name's like Jeff Kaplan or something like that. I don't know.
So, yeah.
I'm bad with names. Anyways, he was talking. It was kind of like referencing Reinhardt, right? So Reinhardt, having his shield, he's what's called like an anchor tank, as opposed to like Roadhog, who's kind of like an offensive like loner. So Reinhardt, like the whole team kind of anchors around him, and he's like the center. And so they were kind of thinking about that idea when designing Orisa, because she has a deployable shield that she can set out, and then also she has abilities that help her support her team. And so like her super, for instance, she puts down like a little station, and it's kind of like the Mercy damage boost. And except it's like super crazy range. It is line of sight.
Yeah.
But it has like a crazy range on it. And so she supports her team by putting down this little station. And then another one is the shield, and then there's secret things going on here, and they're fighting and throwing wax at each other. And then so like her main ability is like a Gatling gun, which does pretty good damage. And so she supports her team in that way. And then her secondary fighter, she actually shoots like a little like mini like Zarya Tobelstein thing that like draws everybody in and holds them for a second, so you can actually like pull people off cliffs, or if Hanzo shoots his special, like his dragon special or whatever, and it's missing, you can actually shoot it into the middle of it and pull the whole enemy team into it and hold him there for a second and, kill him and assist him that way. And so she's like a support tank in the way that Reinhardt is, but she's more versatile in that she can be offensive, defensive, or, whatever you need. Nice. And then aside from that, there was like nerfs and buffs, like Anna got a nerf, and then Lucio got a big buff, but I don't know. I don't really like to think of it as like nerfs and buffs. It's just balancing because each character, has a certain role to play, and then they're just trying to find the specific,
It's always a balancing act.
It is, especially with a game like this in Overwatch. They have like 24 characters now.
Just like much like in League of Legends.
Hundreds.
God, every time there's always a patch. Somebody's nerfed, somebody's buffed, so many people are salty. But
that's it's my Overwatch news.
All right. Anybody else have any news before I go into mine?
Because it'll be a doozy.
Yeah, well, kind of sort of. I got a couple of things to talk about. So first, we'll start off on a light note with the Switch news. So cool thing is that I believe the first 3 of the Mana series will be coming to the Switch. Right now, it will be available in Japan on June 1st. So it's being released by Square Enix. The Mana series, the Secrets of Mana series, all that good stuff. It's actually kind of I wouldn't say a staple, but when it comes to Japanese RPGs, it is definitely high up there. It's considered one of the classics.
I literally have never heard of it until Ray mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. I mean,
I only heard of it because I looked it up, but I have no idea what it is.
It was kind of like the sister to the Final Fantasy series. In the sense that, I mean, you had a lot of Japanese RPGs back in the day that got a lot of fame. So of course the Final Fantasy series, I mean, they're still coming out.
I remember Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross in the PlayStation era. Yeah, so also made by Square Enix, and apparently, and the Legend of Mana series was kind of like a lesser known Japanese RPG series, but also like when you look at the reviews, when you look at the gameplay, when you look at the mechanics, it actually stands its ground against the established titans in the Japanese RPG series. So
underdog.
Yeah, it was kind of like the underdog. It's kind of the lesser known, but it also has a very strong, very loyal following. Personally, I didn't get into the Legend of Mana series. I wasn't into JRPGs at the time when they first came out on the Super Nintendo. But I've been, just kind of itching to get back into them right now. It's just the time. But they're absolute classics. On top of that, I know Nintendo has been talking about releasing or shipping another wave of Switches. And reportedly, some GameStops actually have them in stock a little bit earlier than expected. And the last bit of Switch news is, I know some of you probably have been having issues with the Joy-Con controllers. So that's it hasn't affected the majority of systems, probably like about, like a small percentage of them, 10, 15, 20%. But
I mean,
percentage.
That's a pretty high percentage.
Small percentage says 1/5.
Yeah, 1/5. But basically, the issue that they're having is Joy-Con controllers do work off of Bluetooth, so they've been known to kind of lose connectivity, sometimes upwards of about 5 to 6 seconds. And one of the temporary fixes, has been to kind of disconnect and reconnect the controller.
Wrap them in aluminum foil.
Yeah. So Nintendo actually released an official statement on it. I mean, but unfortunately, after I read through the statement, I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was really generic. Didn't offer any solutions. It was just kind of like we want to put our best foot forward. We value the customer. We value your ideas. So if you have any problems, let us know. And like the response to that, it's like, yeah, we're having a problem. The Joy-Con controller. Check our forums, guys.
Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in again?
Did you try turning it on and turning it off?
The thing that lets me use the system that I waited like months and months and months for, I literally cannot use.
Yep.
So it's kind of a bummer. I know that Ray kind of talked me out of buying the Switch, like on podcast too. It worked because I'm not buying that shit.
No, you know what? All things considered, there have been a lot of problems at launch. I mean, you have a lot of problems. Honestly, all things considered, though, when you look at the when you compare it, scope perspective, when you get perspective on the release, Nintendo actually has relatively good releases.
Yeah, they do.
They usually do.
Yeah.
A lot of it, because they don't give hard release dates either. They're not pressured by the actual game developers themselves to release things early, like a lot of other game companies are. Which is why, Javier said, there's very there's a very small amount of actual bugs whenever a game is released because they do a lot of internal testing, right?
Yeah.
As compared to like Skyrim, where that game was pressured because they wanted to release it on 11/11/11, right? So they could have like, the fancy like release and everything. And and then like day one, that game was so jacked up. There were like people falling through worlds and videos not working and like dragons flying backwards, shooting fire out of their butts, like literally dragons flying backwards through the sky with fire. Coming out of the backside, and so they released a first day patch. But I mean, for those special few that got that game before the patch dropped, and they just like witnessed the glory that was like super buggy Skyrim.
Yeah. Speaking of rocky launches, I'm going to move into the apple of my eye, which is Mass Effect Andromeda. Yep, it's been getting some attention. It's been getting a lot of attention. Honestly, I think a lot of it is actually undeserved. So Mass Effect Andromeda launched March 20th here stateside at 9 p.m.
Yeah, because I remember Mark was talking about it.
Yeah.
I was talking with him on Xbox and he was like, "Bro, I gotta go now. Mass Effect is out." And he left the party, and I haven't spoke to him since.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, it's a work week. And I was up until like 1 a.m. playing.
Yeah.
So it was definitely past 1.
Yeah.
Let's.
Okay.
Let's be realistic.
But yeah, it's been there've been a lot of mixed reviews. The most like I guess the reviews that I pay the most attention to are usually the middle of the road and like baseline, and this is kind of my opinion of it too. Right now, it's a good game. It's a good game, but I have yet to get that sense of awe that I got with the original series.
Yeah.
Which, on the one hand, is also unfair because Mass Effect Andromeda is trying to stand on its own.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't want to compare it to the original, the trilogy, the original trilogy.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's kind of hard not to because it's coming from the same company.
Well, and it's difficult too because I mean, when the first Mass Effect came out, it was so unique in the aspect of like the gameplay and just how big like the actual catalog of all like the flora and fauna were. I mean, just like the lore in the game itself.
Yeah.
It's like encyclopedias.
Well, if I'm if you're to believe reports, is actually like the dialogue in this one. Like I think Mass Effect 3 had the most dialogue out of the trilogy, and according to reports, Mass Effect Andromeda has like double that or triple that in terms of lore. In terms of like I mean I've only played like through the first. The first 2 worlds. So you land. I mean, you get your introduction. You kind of wake up. You go through the spaceship and all that stuff, and then you land on Habitat 7, which is one of the worlds supposedly designated for the humans. And without giving too much up, you go through that, and that's like maybe I'd say an hour tops worth of content. Then you get to the second planet, and that's like all of a sudden you're like, holy crap! I've got a whole world to discover, pretty much.
Yeah. So
I've gotten through the main storyline, or the initial main storyline for that planet. So I've got probably about 2 or 3 hours. No, actually, I played for about 8 hours during the trial, and an extra 2 hours when I got home. So I've got about 10 hours into the game so far. And gameplay-wise, the combat mechanics are tight.
Yeah.
They're pretty dang good. The user interface doesn't. That's another point of contention that a lot of people have had. I can see why people have issues with it. On the PC, it doesn't affect me as much because there are a lot of hotkeys that I can access to kind of shortcut a lot of the UI. But in order to access your journal, in order to access logs, missions, and all that stuff, I can see how it's tedious because you have to like open up the menu and then go to the selection, and then you have folders within folders within folders to get to the to get to the selection that you want.
That was my issue with Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
in the middle of combat, I had to open up like 4 windows to get to this one magic spell that I want to use, and then by that time I'm murdered. By that time I'm murdered. Anyways, that's my tangent.
Moving on. But the section or the bit of the game that has received the most negative attention, partially rightfully so, has been the facial animations, which are, I mean, it's a hit and miss. I hate to say it, but it's really a hit and miss. Like the facial animations and just animations in general for the game, they're having a lot of issues with just the graphics in general. Because I've noticed. I mean, granted, my PC isn't top of the line. It's 3 years old, 4 years, no, maybe even older. It's probably about 4 years old. It can still play the game, And at first I thought it was just an issue with...
You haven't even lived in Vegas for 4 years.
Okay, like 3 years then. So,
Okay.
So technically.
Oh, yeah. So at first I thought it was my graphics card. I have a 750 Ti, not top of the line. It's probably like a 1 or 2 year old graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a workhorse or it's not a beast by any means. But so I was noticing some kind of like blurring, some really weird blurring on the character models, and I thought I was like, that's my graphics card. Don't worry about it. It's not too big a deal. But apparently it's actually an issue where you have like a lot of pop in, or you'll be going through a cutscene and it's just like it's almost like it's rendering in the moment because they'll be blurry, and then all of a sudden, like, a second or two later, all of a sudden you get more detail, and then it knows like, yeah,
whoa, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. But to get back to the facial expressions, it kind of hits a little bit of that uncanny valley.
Yeah.
You could tell that they were trying to experiment with more realistic facial expressions to convey more emotion.
Yeah.
They definitely did a better. No, I wouldn't say they did a better job. They definitely extended themselves more in Andromeda than they did in the original 3 series, but it kind of feels like they missed the mark a little bit in certain cases.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been too big of a problem for me yet, because the voice acting is still actually pretty damn good, and the writing for the game is actually pretty good. And the combat mechanics are still fun. I'm not fighting with the game in order to get through the game.
Yeah.
But those little moments where you have like this really weird facial expression, or where, like Ryder's face and his eyes, just like his eyebrows just kind of continuously wiggle throughout a conversation. You're like,
he's doing the wave.
Yeah, he's doing the wave with his eyebrows, and you don't even know what the heck's going on. Yeah, it can lead to detract. It can kind of like detract from the game. But the topic that I really wanted to hit on, which is unfortunate here, apparently that kind of spawned this witch hunt. For the woman is named Allie Rose Marie Layout. Yeah. Like baseline, she doesn't deserve the attention that she's getting. Basically, she works with the motion capture at EA Labs. Yeah. Electronic Arts Labs. But one of the things that kind of like makes you raise your eyebrow is that I think it's on her Twitter, she claimed to be the lead facial animator for Mass Effect Andromeda. But later on, EA kind of released a statement saying like, "Hey, we know that there are a lot of fans that are basically focusing on this one former EA employee. It's not that employee's fault. She doesn't deserve this attention. You guys are being jerks." And obviously, they said it a lot more professionally. But like, really, what it came down to, I mean, again, bottom line is undeserved attention. She's getting death threats, threats. Over
a game.
It's like gamer.
Over a game.
Yeah, it's kind of.
You don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even know.
It's not a game.
Yeah.
It's not just a game. It's a lifestyle.
Andromeda is life.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it's like Gamergate all over again.
Yeah.
Apparently it seems to have been instigated
Wait,
what did you say?
It's like Gamergate all over again.
Oh, what? I thought you said Gamergate. I was like, the new Gatorade?
No.
Gamergate?
Gamergate.
What is
It's all about
Gamergate?
noob.
Gamergate was actually a scandal, just kind of like to briefly touch on the topic without getting too deep. Gamergate was a scandal that happened, I think, like a couple of years ago. It was around a female Nintendo employee, I believe, if I remember correctly. Basically, it was just like she released a couple of... She was a correspondent. She released some news and all that stuff. And I think she ended up getting fired from Nintendo anyways. But essentially, like, the scandal was, like, the focus of it was that there's still a lot of misogyny, there's still a lot of prejudice and woman hate in the gaming community because they came down on her really hard. I mean, we're talking, like, again, death threats, threats of rape. Basically, it's like, hey, you would look...
Never mind. I was going to say something really bad.
No, but I mean, like, basically derogatory, like, they were just attacking this woman. And there was a little bit of controversy over the reason why Nintendo let her go. Yeah. It was, I don't remember the exact reason. I have to look into it again. But it was just kind of like you read it and you're kind of like, really, guys? Basically, they claimed something. I think it was something along the lines of she was posting unauthorized content on her social media. Like, by unauthorized, it's just like, hey, I'm working at Nintendo, and like, I guess they have a clause within their contract that like you can't talk about Nintendo and what you do on your personal profiles.
It's your personal profile. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
What happens in Nintendo stays in Nintendo.
Yeah. So, but yeah, essentially what it boiled down to is that particular employee was like, she was lambasted across like a bunch of different gaming news sites, and then it was just like this big controversy. It's like people not necessarily shame, but just like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And then these guys going like, oh, she's this, she's that, she deserves it, and rape threats, death threats. So that's kind of what's happening here with Allie Rose Marie like they're basically just like targeting her, harassing her. It's been going on for a couple of days at this point, but it's just like everybody's kind of going like, WTF? It's like this huge question mark, and I'm kind of scratching my head too, going like, guys, I mean, if she was the facial animator, yes, she screwed up, but at the same time, like, she's part of a team.
Yeah.
So she's not working on her own.
It's not just the one person.
It's not just the one person. Like, she's got her work, and then it goes to a manager who approves it, and then eventually this whole product has to go through like a QA process, quality assurance process. So it's not just like her. Don't focus on her. I mean, if anybody screwed up, it was BioWare.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of these animations, for a lot of these issues that they're having, it's like, attack the company. Don't attack the individual. I mean, she just worked.
It's easy when, I think a lot of it's because there's like a face, right?
Yeah.
There's a face to the problem, and so it's easier to hate, one particular individual
than it is to like
than just a whole like entity.
Yeah, a soulless entity.
Well, it's time to get a gun.
But
a gun and a really big dog.
That's I kind of found that unfortunate because it's like, I mean, again, Mass Effect Andromeda is it's a good game. It's a good game. It's worth playing. If you're not a hardcore fan of the series, wait a little while before you pick it up. Maybe it'll go down and it'll be worthwhile then. But this just kind of like creates a whole lot of negativity around the launch, and it's just kind of like focusing in the wrong directions, in the wrong areas. So I don't know. This kind of taints the launch for me, unfortunately. But I'm gonna continue to play it. I'm gonna continue to enjoy it, and I'm gonna continue to advise people to like think before you speak and realize that you're talking to another person. Because it's just like, I mean, the way I see it, that could be my sister. That could be my mom that they're talking to, and it's just like, well, that's never okay.
Yeah.
Ever. So.
No bueno.
Yeah. To all you listeners out there, be better, guys.
Be better.
Yeah, you bunch of douches.
Make yourselves better. But anyways, so with that sad note, let's bring.
And
I know, right? That was so depressing.
I know, right?
What the fuck?
I know. I mean, I felt like we needed to kind of talk about it because it's actually kind of like a big deal right now.
It's important.
It's really, really important, especially in the gaming community.
Yeah.
And like I love gamers. I love what we can do because like when it comes down to it, I have never seen a more unified community ever. Like back when, oh god, who was it? That was a senator. Oh my god, I forget his name. This is like back in sometime like mid 2000s, somewhere around there. But there was a particular senator who was, I mean, aside from the fact that he was off his rocker, was like just like demonizing the video game industry.
Not surprised.
Yeah, right? And basically, like, he was just like, every chance that he would get, he would sue a company just to like prove that video games were evil and causing kids to go on mass killing sprees and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But so when this actually got legitimate press, and when some people started to pay attention, and basically the wrong people started paying attention and started trying to move.
Lamar Alexander?
No, I don't think it was him.
Oh, he's a senator from Tennessee that says video games are bigger problems than guns.
Yeah,
but that was like 4 years ago.
No, that wasn't him. It was somebody else whose name I forget. But anyways, so when it started getting the attention that we didn't want it to get, like cross-platform, cross-genre, all gamers kind of came together and they were just like, hold the fuck up. Like, stop.
You mean the PC Master Race slummed it with console gamers?
Dude.
PC Master Race.
No, yeah, like no joke. Gamers.
Any animosity there, Reed?
Like, no joke, but gamers across the country banded together and were like, I mean, I know we all have our, you have fanboys and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, Xbox is better than PlayStation, so on and so forth.
It's almost like that's our topic.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like, I'm sitting here PC going like, that's cute, guys. But so we have those rivalries, but at the same time, like when you see something like this that's going against the gamer community, like I've never seen a more unified group.
Yes,
that just comes together and like tries to support each other, tries to support the industry, tries to support other gamers, and tries to welcome people. So when I see stuff like this, like attacks on an individual, and it's not even like they're saying your work sucks, but they're like attacking her as a woman.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, dude, come on, like
yeah.
It's just, it gets ridiculous to me, and it's sad because it brings us all down.
Right.
You know, it
makes
not
a stereotype more legit.
It makes a stereotype. Yeah, it makes a stereotype more legit. And like I said, it just brings the community down in general. Like I don't want to be associated with that kind of stuff. Like it's that. Sure. I don't want people to know gamers for this whole thing, for Gamergate, for being misogynistic assholes. That
well, we already have a rep as it is. You know what I mean? We're unproductive members of society, introverted members of society, and that's not necessarily the case for the majority.
Exactly.
You know, as it's not the norm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's just what people see. You know what? It's not even what people see. It's what people choose to believe.
That's what people choose to believe.
Because
we've had that stereotype.
Man, no, we gotta change the topic right now.
Because we're gonna get
I'm gonna get passionate and drunk about this. So.
Oh damn. Yeah. Okay, but let's move on.
Also, on a happier note, I was reminded on Facebook today that today marks 1 year that Natalie and I became friends.
Oh yeah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah for friendship!
Yes.
But
it's our friendiversary, right?
Oh God.
Sorry that I didn't bring you any flowers and treated you right.
You should crochet or knit. That's right, you knit. You should knit her a pillow.
Wait, what was that thing you called? What was it?
I said
a doily.
A doily.
You should doily.
What?
Knit her a doily.
Oh man.
Will do.
Anyways.
A nerd-based doily.
But to bring things back to a happy note.
Yes.
What we originally came here to talk about.
Yes. Preferences.
Yes.
Preferences. Reed, this is your topic. You go first.
All right. So, initially when it came to my mind, it seemed like it was kind of just like a natural choice for a topic, right? Because I mean, honestly, I think I'm just skipping to the end here, but it kind of comes down to like what people prefer, because everybody prefers something different. And so I thought it would be an interesting topic to kind of go over why we prefer what we do, and why we play the consoles or PCs that we do, and for what reasons. So, I think Javier and I have been talking a lot, so I think Natalie should go first.
What the heck?
Yeah, there you go. Blindsided.
Oh.
You were not prepared.
I was not prepared. Okay, perfect. So when it comes to, one more time, Reed, you want me to talk about my favorite console?
The console that you prefer.
The console that I prefer. Okay.
Currently, all time, I don't care.
All time console that I prefer.
We're all over the place tonight. So.
All right. So the console that I prefer, I'm gonna go with the Super Nintendo. That is my absolute favorite console. And the background story on it is, today we were talking about some emo stuff.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, about family and stuff. And I didn't have necessarily the best childhood with a lot of my stuff. But what I do remember from my childhood was getting that Nintendo and that Super Nintendo, but more specifically the Super Nintendo. So I would remember my brother and I would fight, and I would run to my room and play Super Mario World. And I'm a beast at that game. I will own all of you. Like, nobody can beat me. Like, not that you can beat, but yeah. Like, I just mean it's not a competitive game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you can't.
Unless you do like speed runs or
right,
something.
like
unless you do it right.
Crap out of you.
Yeah, like so that was a big thing. Super Mario World is probably my number one, if not number two game, next to Ocarina of Time.
Nice.
So they were, and that's surprising because you would think that I would say the N64 because of Ocarina of Time, since that's my favorite game, but because of the Super Nintendo, the attachment I have. Not only that, but I had bought an N64 at the time, and I had just gotten into Ocarina of Time, and then at one point I went to Mexico. I don't know where the time frame was at that point, but I lived 6 months in Mexico, and my cousins are all there, and my cousin had a Super Nintendo, and he was playing Link to the Past. So that's how I got into like more of the Zelda stuff, because
so that's your first Super Nintendo memory.
Yeah, basically Super Mario World and Link to the Past. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's basically and then I slowly and surely got enforced. And granted, my mom used to come out of the casinos because she was a blackjack dealer.
Yeah.
She used to come out and she would come home, and in my brother's room he had a Nintendo, so she would play Dr. Mario, which was like this old Tetris Dr. Mario. I don't know if y'all played it or not, but
I know of it.
Yeah, so like it was like this Tetris game, and she liked it, and then so like slowly but surely, like then I started playing it, and then like my gamerness revolved around the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Yes.
Ray,
what about you? What's your preference?
I mean, I haven't really had a whole lot of experience. I'm fairly new to this whole gaming thing. But so far I've been most comfortable with, PC Master Race.
Hmm.
Just because it's
There's a video I need to show all of you later.
it's a lot more easy for me to use a mouse and keyboard as opposed to the controls. Like I've tried to play. What was I trying to play? I think I was trying to play I think it was Gears of War, and I kept running into the wall, and I could not figure out. It was, oh my god, it was so annoying. I'd take a step and then step back and try to turn and take a step and step back and turn. And
is it like when they can't turn and walk at the same time?
Yes.
It was she had difficulty coordinating her left and her right hand, and it was kind of okay, babe. So
this is why I don't play piano. I mean,
this is how you move. This is how you look.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, wait, move, stop, look.
Yeah.
Move, stop, look. Aww. And then, don't even get me started on combat, because then she was just like, what button do I press? And then just...
You know, a lot of times with PC games, I can just button mash and survive.
No joke.
But with a console, I can't do that.
When we play League of Legends, sometimes I'm wondering, what's going on over there? Because, she doesn't even hit, you have, 3 or 4... You have 5 buttons to worry about. Q, W, E, R, actually 6. And then your F and D. So Q, W, E, R, those are your abilities. And then F and D are your, summoner spells, utility spells. So anytime she gets into combat, normally you have, this, strategize. Okay, I'm pressing these buttons. It's that.
Hey, okay,
that.
with some champions,
she gets into combat.
I do actually
She gets into combat, and all I hear is smash, 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 smash. What are you doing? I don't know.
She's just palming the keyboard.
She's palming the keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whatever keeps me alive. But the point is, I can't do that on consoles. Right?
You would probably be a great amateur fighter gamer.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is, you can totally button mash and win stuff.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 also, yeah.
All I heard was that it was easier to be a noob on a computer than it was on a console.
It's more forgiving.
It is, yeah. It is more forgiving, yeah. All right. Anything else? How about?
Do you have a first memory of being exposed to video games?
Ew, exposed.
Yes.
Exposed.
Gosh. Okay. I don't really remember what the first game that... Oh, I guess my first exposure to gaming was when I was little, whatever games my brothers played. But, Ratchet and Clank.
Ah.
I remember that one.
Great game.
That was a good
Actually, great series. All of them. They're just fantastic.
Yep.
But my first game, I guess as an adult, it must have been some RPG. Lord of the Rings, was it?
Lord of the Rings.
There have been several Lord of the Rings games.
And I remember I cajoled her. I was like, because I would play.
Cajoled me.
And she was just like, oh, that looks interesting. I'm like, why don't you play? So I would let her borrow my laptop.
You just rotate your chair oh, really?
Oh, really? So, I think her first RPG was Lord of the Rings Online.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, and you gave me your laptop so I could play.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the story when you guys first walked into the meetup where you were telling me that his parents were like, oh my god, I'm so happy that you're going to get him out of video games.
Yeah.
And it ended up that you guys, now they're like, not you two.
What's that saying? It's easier to be corrupted than it is to
be purified.
But
corrupt someone else.
Also, yeah, if you can't beat them,
join them.
And
You
meanwhile,
play Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
I remember when they caught her playing, I was just like, they looked at her and they looked at me and I was like,
Yes.
yes, I did this. But,
Yeah.
it's still a work in progress, though.
Right.
It's still a work in progress. But,
Well, baby's awake.
Yep, looks like the baby's awake. But, so while Ray goes out, I will share my or Reed, why don't you go? Because I've been talking a lot. So you go, and then I'll wrap up.
I shall
Share us
go.
your secrets.
My secrets, the secrets of readiness. I don't know. It's kind of a difficult question for me because
You had the topic.
it is, but I have an interesting answer. It was one of those things where I didn't think about the answer. I just thought about, hey, what would be interesting to talk about, and then I was like, oh no.
You let the cats out of the bag, and then you realize.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking Endgame.
Nice.
So I mean, like going back, I mean, like the first console that my family owned, we had just a old fashioned like it. What was Duck Hunt on?
That was on NES.
It was NES. That was the first one we had, and I don't remember us getting it. My parents already had it, and it was like stowed away in like one of their bedrooms in like a drawer. And I just remember when I was a kid, I was like, I'm gonna go look through my parents' room, and then I found it, and I was like, oh, look at this, and my parents were like, oh yeah, you can play that totally, and I was like, cool. And so like my first video game memories was playing Duck Hunt because we actually had the gun that went with it too.
Yeah.
And then also playing just old school Mario. And just like trying to get past like the third level, or whichever one the water one was.
The squids.
Yeah, the freaking
squids,
dude.
Man.
Those squids. Or there was that. God, I forget which level it was, but it was like you had to run across a bridge, but then you had the cheeps constantly. Just,
there was the little like things shooting up at you.
Those games were hard, dude.
They were unforgiving.
Dude, I like graduated to Xbox One, and we all like moved on, and we like whatever. But if we played the fucking Mario again right now, like we get our asses handed to us.
I tried playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts like a while ago because I have it on the emulator on my computer. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm like 30 years old. I can totally play this. I can totally own this game.
Mistake.
That's basically what happened. Started the first level. I was like, how did I get past this?
Seriously.
I mean, I never beat the game because the game was like ridiculously impossible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I could get to like world. I think it was like world 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah.
I forget which level it was, but it was It's ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
And it is just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Souls, stand aside, man.
Seriously.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
You can get hit twice in Dark Souls, please.
I know, right? But
I'm used to games where you get hit once, you're gone. You're donezo, kid. But
you're done, goof.
You're done messed up.
But
no, I mean that was like the first console that my family had. It like growing up, I wasn't really like a big like gaming nerd. I was a huge nerd, but I wasn't like a gaming nerd because I mean we had the NES and whatever. And I was that kid like on our block where I would take sticks from our tree and turn it into swords. I was like my street's blacksmith, right?
Yeah.
And so I would make like a bunch of sticks so that me and all my friends could all like play whatever game that involved hitting each other with sticks was, whether it was like knights or like ninjas or like Jedi or not all that crap.
Yeah.
And so I actually spent a large majority of my childhood like outside doing things.
Yeah.
And then like one Christmas, my mom bought my dad like a old school PlayStation with like Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, and then Spyro the Dragon, and then it was like done. And then it was inside from then on. No, actually, no, but it was kind of like a slow takeover, just like gradually, right?
Yep.
Then after that, I had a GameCube, which was also good. Like Super Mario Sunshine, that was a great game. I don't know why I get so much hate. Like people compare it to Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they just like expanded on Super Mario 64, right?
I think the gripe with it was like you had a lot of people that had grown up with Nintendo.
Exactly.
At that point.
And Super Mario 64 in itself was
like it wasn't
such I can't think what word I'm looking for. It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, because like who would think to like sit in like a certain spot and then look up at the ceiling to go to like a super secret level?
Yeah.
Or who would think to like jump through a painting to get places?
Yeah.
Unless it like specifically tells you to do that. But then at the time, like we weren't used to 3D games of that quality.
Yeah.
And so Super Mario Sunshine came out and like a bunch of people hated it, but I thought it was great. I thought it was fun.
No, I think what it was because like I mean. Super Mario in and of itself isn't like mature by any means, kind of cartoony and all that stuff. But like Sunshine, kind of like it catered to a younger generation, and I think that's part of the reason why it got a lot of hate. Yeah. Like I mean, mechanically and game wise, artistically, it was awesome. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But
just a game about fighting pollution, baby.
Yeah, and most of the complaints that I heard about it, it was just like usually people when complain about it, it's just like, oh, why does it have to be so childish? I'm like.
It's Mario, bro.
It's Mario, man. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess that's when people were getting used to, like, because, I mean, arguably at the time, you had, like, Grand Theft Auto 3, which was kind of groundbreaking and all that stuff, and, like, this shift in gaming and gaming maturity and all that stuff. So everybody was expecting, like, this gritty world and all that.
If it ain't got boobies, it's a kid's game.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, come on.
But, yeah, so then after that, But then after that, it was like a PlayStation 2, and then I got an Xbox 360, and then my most recent one is like an Xbox One. And so I've kind of been all over the place as far as like, you know, like companies go.
Yeah.
And so I have like favorites for each console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the one that I prefer like Xbox mostly. And a lot of that's because of the exclusives. But not just because of the exclusives, but because the exclusives have multiplayer.
Yeah.
Right. I like Mario is great and all, but I can't play multiplayer Mario. I mean, except for Mario Kart, but
Yeah.
and Mario Party, but I'm not playing Mario Party online.
No thanks.
Halo, Gears of War. I mean, those games pretty much are like the reason why I prefer Xbox. And also, I mean, like a lot of it too is because like the people that I play with most often also have Xbox, and so
Yeah.
a lot of it is just because of the social aspect. And so.
I mean, that's kind of what game is all about. That's what it's
Exactly.
always been about.
I mean, it like I said, like I said at the beginning, I would kind of skip into the end, but it's all about preference, right?
yeah.
And so some people, they like playing games like Uncharted by themselves, and they like the fact that they can get through it and complete it. But I mean, to me, like I would rather play Halo, like just
Yeah.
really any form of Halo
Yeah.
with other people than
Yeah.
play through a game by myself.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the social aspect, right?
Well, I mean, that's how games. That's how games.
I spend enough time alone.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
And you know what? That's actually one overlooked fact. It's easily overlooked because when you look back to the original gaming systems, because there were some gaming systems before Atari, definitely. I think ColecoVision was after Atari. It was like around the same time, but then of course you had the Commodore 64 and a bunch of different systems. But like the main thing that they advertised, and they continue to advertise, multiplayer is a feature that people want. Like
Exactly.
in the day, the commercial was like, "Get with your friends and play."
It's why Xbox did so well, especially when
Yeah.
Halo 2 came out.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, just the fact that you could play with somebody that you didn't know that
fact
wasn't
that you
on
could-
your couch.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with couch,
Yeah.
multiplayer, because I mean, split screen is such a hot topic these days. I mean, if
exactly.
your game like doesn't have split screen, it's pretty much worthless to me.
And I mean, Xbox did kind of steal GameCube's thunder, even though they kind of came around. No, actually, I think GameCube came a little bit after Xbox. I think Xbox was released.
I think GameCube came after Xbox.
Yeah, because Xbox was released that like within the holiday season. Then Nintendo for whatever reason always releases in March.
Yeah, they're just
consoles.
like, nah, we'll do fine, guys.
Yeah, we'll do fine.
We don't need no holiday season.
So I mean, nobody gives Nintendo the credit for it for having 4 controller entries.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were in development in tandem with Xbox. But
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Xbox came out first, and then everybody's like, "Holy crap, 4 controllers!" Whereas up to that point, it had always been one player, 2 player.
It's 1 player, 2 player. I remember
Yeah.
for PS1 for Crash Team Racing, which is actually the best racing game I've ever played.
Yeah.
There were special adapters that you put in the 1 player, 2 player ports that just split it.
The
So you
multi-tap.
it actually had 4 player capabilities.
Mhm.
It just didn't come with the ports, and so you just needed adapters. And it was like a later thing. Because I mean,
Yeah.
at that time too, there was longer expanses of time between console releases.
Yeah.
And so there was more time for adaptation.
Yeah, adaptation. That was called the multi-tap, the
Yeah.
Sony multi-tap. That I think it was. I think they had one for the PlayStation 1, and then definitely for sure for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember, I mean, there was an option on Crash Team Racing for 4 players.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it because you needed the special adapter.
You need a special, or actually no, you could also do a system link for the original PlayStation.
I don't remember that, but I was young at that time. So.
Yeah. No, you
I
could
was
do
a little baby.
You could do a system link where it was like it allowed you to do a system link, but you had to have 2 TVs.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you could do 2 players on one console, 2 players on another console, and play on 2 separate.
Which
TVs.
still isn't even that like difficult to do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with stuff that I've done, like me and Mark. Oh my gosh! Like I'll just take my whole setup over to Mark's. He has like another TV in his like living room, and then
there
we'll
you
just
go.
play stuff. I mean, we've been doing that for years. Like a lot of our best memories are just us system linking.
Yeah.
We're still playing online.
Yeah.
But we're just in the same room talking to each other. Like
Yeah.
I'll be set up this way, he'll be set up this way. So the TV's this way, I'm this way, and we just look at each other.
So you're talking about
we
LAN
talk.
parties?
Kind of, but then it also
Like
involves
console.
actual like internet too. So it's us talking to each other in the same party
Yeah.
and also in the same room, but then also just playing against like
Yeah.
other people on the internet.
Yeah. And that, I mean,
I
that's,
have so many stories.
oh, it's so much
I'm
fun.
like, why aren't we doing this right now?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I want to do. I want to like build a house that's
Mm-hmm.
big enough to have like a room dedicated to just like LAN parties and stuff like that.
Some
I
of my
will
best,
visit you every day.
I
some
know.
of my best Halo 4 memories is when me and Mark were doing that. Just like I made this kid rage so hard.
Are you listening,
Back in my
Mark?
day when I was
when we were halfway
when I was
decent.
back when I was great at Halo 4, I was at the peak of my game.
I hope you're listening, Mark.
Yeah.
Defend your honor.
Yeah, your face, Mark.
No, Mark was there too.
Your gorgeous Nordic face.
We've been drinking.
I think I'm in love with Mark, guys.
It happens.
Aren't we all?
It happens.
It happens. I still love you too, Reed. But, anyways.
LAN parties.
LAN parties. Yep. Man, I still remember. Look, okay. My exposure to gaming was the Nintendo. Because I do remember, oh my god. Like, we got the Nintendo Entertainment System. And we had the Duck Hunt / there was a soccer game that came with it that always tripped me out because like it was actually like they looked like little dwarves that were running across the field, but the funny thing was like you could actually like shove each other or kick each other.
Oh, okay.
And every time you did, like their eyes would pop out of their head like cartoon style. So I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So like I never played the game for the soccer. I played the game to like
just to push people.
To push people. So that was hilarious. And then we had track and field. Oh my god, I remember that with that pad. Do any of you remember the pad?
The one that you would like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was awesome. You had this pad, and 2 players can fit on it.
Yeah.
So they had the blue side and the red side, and like they had little. It was almost like a twister, but you had 6 little buttons, or you had 6 dots.
Yeah.
Foot-sized dots that you could step on, and yeah, track and field was that. You would like, pick your spot, and then just like pump your feet as fast as you could to get as far and fast as you can. Oh man, that was awesome. But so. My exposure to gaming was with the NES, but like my fondest gaming memory, was with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
where it's at, man.
Yeah, I mean, no hate on the NES. It was a freaking awesome system, and I remember a lot of the games that I played on it.
And the Super Nintendo crushes everything.
Yeah, but like the Super Nintendo, I'll never forget. It was the summer before I went into kindergarten. If I remember correctly, it was like 1990,
so 1991. You were like 4?
Yeah, I was like 5-ish.
Oh, okay, so you were like a late attendee.
Yeah. But yeah. So I remember like for me it felt like it was midnight, but our bedtime was like 7:30 at the time. So my dad it was probably like 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and like I remember waking up and hearing some stuff in the living room. So I walk over to the living room, like I'm walking down the hallway, and I see like some light, the TV light going on. The glow. And I remember like, wait a second, that's not a TV show, because it sounded like, it sounded 8-bitty.
Yeah.
It sounded video gaming. Yeah. And then I walk in, and my dad's like playing the Super Nintendo that he just bought.
Yeah.
In the living room, and I was just like, I was like, my eyes got as big as dinner plates, and my dad just like
as big as the soccer players in that game, right?
As big as the soccer players. He like froze, and he looked back, and he was like, no, go back to bed, because he knew at that point I wanted to stay up all night playing those games
with your dad.
I remember playing Super Nintendo at my friend's house. Like it was like Mega Man, right? Like Mega Man X, the first one, which is honestly the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, like 4 and 5 are pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like between 1 and 4, it's like all the same game. Anyways, Mega Man X, playing at my friend's house. We would take turns. We tried several different systems on which to base our turns. Some of it was timed, but timing things is frustrating, right? Because you make it through the level, and it's all like the boring part. You make it to the final boss, and then your time's up.
Yep.
And then you don't get to fight the boss.
Yeah.
It's like, what the crap? And so then, And so then we tried the whole like every time you die, like every time you lose a life, then you switch hands. Yeah. And so we tried that, but then the thing is like I'd play for like 5 minutes, and then I'd die. I'd go to my friend Caden, who would immediately die. He'd just jump off a cliff, like just out of nowhere. Sorry, Caden. And then it would go to my brother, and then he would play for like 2 hours.
Oh God!
And he would not die, and he would just work his way through the bosses because he's Keith. Yeah. Right? That's just who he is. He has the ability to just not fail at things, and it's like the learning curve at which he learns new things is like just incredibly drastic. Like
Yeah.
it's like he's evaluating the situation. It takes like 5 milliseconds, and he's like, okay, this is what I gotta do, and then he does it, and then he's just like processing the whole combat system as it goes through, and he's constantly learning. He's like a machine, and it was so annoying.
You rat bastard.
Which is why like we for Keith, it was like, okay, if he makes it like half an hour and he hasn't died, then he has to switch. So with Keith, it was a timed, plus it was also a life.
Yeah,
he had to have extra restrictions on him to level the playing field for me and the rest of my friends.
We all had those friends.
And so...
Yep. But as fond as that Super Nintendo memory is, my heart always, forever, shall go to the PC. Always.
For the PC?
To the PC.
To the
yeah.
PC Master Race.
I will never, ever forget Heroes of Might and Magic 2.
Wow. Name dropping.
Yeah, Heroes of Might and Magic 2. That was actually, it started off with 3DO, back when they were actually a company before they morphed into Ubisoft. But...
Yeah.
Ubisoft is okay.
Yeah, Ubisoft's not too bad. But... Shh. Anyways.
You'd be so soft.
Yeah. Ubisoft. Anyways, but yeah, no, Heroes of Might and Magic 2 was like, I don't know how I came across it. I remember I walked into a, oh god, this is dating me, but,
Yeah.
so, we all know GameStop.
I'm showing you a video after we're done recording. You guys need to see this.
So we all know GameStop, which
Yes.
absorbed EB Games.
Yes.
Okay.
So EB Games used to be Electronics Boutique.
Ah.
And before Electronics Boutique and GameStop, there was a store called Babbage's.
Never.
That sounds
even-
like a British store. I'm not sure that it's real.
No. It was like, it
What
was
was it
legit.
called?
It was called Babbage's.
Babbage's.
Babbage's Cabbages.
Babbage's.
Babbage's.
No, but like,
Oh.
yeah, these guys were the these guys were the Sam Goody of the electronics world. So I walked into a Babbage's one day. Yeah,
Babbage's.
Babbage's.
Oh God, we're not gonna be able to get past this. And they had this game, so I figured like, hey, why not? Let's just buy it.
Yeah,
You know, because we had a computer and I wanted to play. I wanted a computer game because like
I'm sorry, what game are we talking about?
Here's my Magic 2.
Oh.
And it was a turn-based strategy game, and like that just like started my passion for like the PC gaming. And it was like Heroes of Might and Magic 2. It was Age of Empires after that. Age of
Yes.
Empires 2.
Yeah.
So I played Warcraft before it was an MMO like that,
Yeah.
like how it was. I played Warcraft 2 and then Age of Empires and then Puzzle Bobble.
Oh.
What?
See, and the thing is, like,
Moving up in the world.
before I got to World of Warcraft, like I hated Warcraft
Why?
because like I was
so good.
I was a Heroes of Might and Magic fan. Like even though I really loved Age of Empires, like for me Heroes of Might and Magic was like the strategy game to play.
Age of Empires was super slow.
Yeah, and Age of Empires
So
was super
slow.
slow. But like I would be playing Heroes of Might and Magic, and like all my friends would be hating on me because I wasn't playing Warcraft. And I'm like, what's the big deal about Warcraft?
It's a big deal.
Yeah, no, I mean it
Kill
is a
that
big deal.
seal.
Like I went back and I played it eventually, and I mean I loved it. But at the time I hated it so much because like it was mainstream and all my friends were like ragging on me for not playing it. Like, well, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hate you and I hate that stupid game.
Wait, what year were we talking about? Because I played Warcraft 2 like in '98.
Yeah, no, that's about what
That's
we're
what-
talking
that's
about.
what you're talking
yeah,
about?
that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just didn't have friends to play multiplayer. now I realize what happened there because there was a multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. There was a multiplayer. Well, I mean, not that my friends were playing with each other, but like, you know, they were all up on Warcraft, which, I mean, again, it's a great strategy game.
Yeah, it really is.
But I just hated it at the time because, like, number one, I didn't have it, and number two, like, I was always getting hated on because I didn't have it and I didn't play it.
You just gotta build those farms and those barracks and
Yeah.
you're good.
I know.
Like,
So I
That's
was-
literally the problem that everybody faces these days. It's like you have the same games. Like I cannot tell you how many people I've met that play Overwatch just on different like it's not venues. I mean just like different like consoles. Like
Yeah.
I have so many friends that play Overwatch on PS4 and on PC that don't
But
play
how
on
many
Xbox
friends
One.
do you have really though?
wow.
So many.
So sad.
So
I
much
have
hate.
all the friends.
All the friends.
But we're not good friends because they don't play on Xbox.
Oh.
So.
And there comes the fanboy animosity.
Those traitors.
It's like, hey, my name's Reed. Hi, I play PlayStation. Oh.
Get out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait a second.
What?
Did I make this up? Did you tell us a story that there was a girl?
No, yeah, that was totally a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was I think it was the last time we got together.
Last time we met up when we played Cash Flow.
Yeah.
It was I was in the drive-thru at Cane's. I happened to have some games in my front seat next to me. She noticed the games and was like, "Hey, what games do you like?" And I was like, "Oh, you know, I like play Halo and all that stuff." And she was like, "Oh, I play Call of Duty." And then no, it went the other way.
Yeah.
Like,
I asked her. She was like, "Oh, look, I noticed you got games." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what do you play?" Like I started a conversation like while she's handing me my money. I was like, "Oh yeah, what do you play?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, I like Call of Duty." And she just named all of the Call of Duties as if each one was like a completely separate game.
Yeah.
Instead of naming different genres, she was like, "Oh, I like World at War. I like Modern Warfare 2. I like Modern Warfare 3. You know, Black Ops." And I was like, "Oh, well." Like, I was like, that's cool. Like, I prefer Halo, you know, just because it's a different, like, I wasn't even, like, rude. I was like, it's just because it's a different, like, you know, mechanics, like different system. And she was like, oh.
Yeah.
And she, like, shut the window. And I was like, okay
then.
All right, then.
Yeah.
So that went horribly
I
wrong.
was like, cool story, all right.
Yeah, but I mean, do you really want to be with someone who plays Call of Duty?
No.
There you go.
Not really, nah.
Nah.
There you go.
I mean, like, Modern Warfare 2, I can understand, because that's honestly, like, the best out of all the Call of Duties.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, when you think that each Call of Duty is a different game from each other Call of Duty game,
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
you don't, like, you don't...
Reed's head's about to explode.
I just gotta come away from this subject, okay?
Let the record show that Reed ran out of words.
I can no longer English.
You can no longer English due to your dislike of. So yeah, no. For me, it's PC. It always has been. I mean, yes, I loved the Super Nintendo. I loved the Nintendo 64. I loved the Sony PlayStation.
You can't love everything.
Yes,
I love everything.
Coexist, Ray.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I like both Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh my god.
And then his head exploded.
Oh my god. Okay, so separate topics. I'm just gonna say.
Why not?
So there was this one day in college when I could identify who the nerds were, only because there was this guy and he was like behind us. He's like, I don't know the difference between Star Trek, Star Wars, and Battlestar Galactica, and like, like 4 people turned around slowly, and like all 4 of us just looked at each other like,
what do
you
we
are
do?
18, like. You are an adult.
This has never happened.
Never. We were all very, very upset.
It's offensive.
Although I could identify who were my friends at that point. I was like, oh.
Okay,
So you all
You all.
can come sit here.
Welcome to the inner circle.
you can sit by me.
No, yeah, I actually, I wouldn't say the laughing stock, but like, yeah, I was kind of like the comic relief in my college courses as among engineers. I mean,
It's
engineers
because
are
engineers
nerds.
are a bunch of nerds. Alright.
Yeah, no, and I'm sitting there,
For
and I'm just
anybody
like,
that doesn't know this, engineers have no social skills.
no, but like, apparently the engineers over at San Diego
I'm sorry.
State, they're a bunch of fucking jocks. Because like, I mean, I was like the nerdy kid among the engineers. Like, I remember, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in, it was our senior design class, first semester, and our professor was asking us, like, basically he was talking about, like, because, I mean, we're supposed to design a senior project, come up, so he was kind of giving us the intro, getting us all, you know, lathered up about what we're supposed to do, and he was talking about innovation, inventions, and all that stuff. So he talks about the cell phone. You know, it was originally invented by a guy named Motorola. His last name was actually Motorola, I believe.
Oh, I was like, that was his first name?
No, that was his last name.
Motorola
Yeah.
cell phone.
which is why I got the name Motorola. Again, if I remember correctly. But essentially, Motorola created the first cell phone. The reason the inventor of
It's
Motorola...
not that funny.
We've been drinking, guys.
You have
And we're still coherent.
contagious laugh.
Yeah.
I haven't been drinking. I'm sober.
Yes.
Reed just has a contagious laugh.
Baby hasn't been drinking, so, you know.
And look at how angry he looks.
I know.
Seriously, he's so pissed.
But, so he asks, like, does anybody know how the cell phone, or like, where the inspiration from the cell phone came?
Star
And like,
Trek,
it was like,
duh.
yeah, no, it was like dead quiet for like 2 seconds, and I'm like looking around going like, just like, how do you guys not know this? So I was just like, Star Trek. And then he was just like, yeah. And everybody looks to me and starts laughing. And I'm just like,
What?
Like,
I stated a fact.
yeah, I stated a fact. And like,
Everyone's like, haha, stupid. And you're like, yes, you are. Because
Suck
I'm
it,
correct.
nerds.
Suck it, nerds. But no, like seriously, I would always work like video game references or kind of like pop culture nerdy references into my presentations
Kind
and all
of
that
like
stuff.
you do right now.
Yeah, kind of like I do right now. And, A, nobody understood it, and B, I always got, laughed at because I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, how do you guys not know this? So,
Yeah, that's just because the engineers at State were a bunch of losers.
Like, beam me up, Scotty. Come on, guys. It's a thing.
It's a thing, guys.
Except he doesn't actually ever say that.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Ooh, that's interesting trivia we need to figure out.
It's one of those things like where everyone says like, oh yeah, he says, Luke, I am your father, but he doesn't.
He does not say that.
He says, Nein, ich bin dein Vater.
That's if you're watching it in German.
Nice.
Nein.
Ich bin dein Vater.
No, je suis ton papa.
I forget who sent it to me. But it was I told
the dub.
No. It was somebody had done a compilation of that scene, like dubbed across
other languages.
different languages.
Oh
And these were legit. Like these were the actual, like the official translations for that language. And I mean, you had some official ones like of the bigger countries like France, Germany, so on and so forth, that actually had production value. Some of them would be like from like the Philippines or something like that, and you could tell it was like some dude in a garage, like with like the cheap ass microphones that you get, like the little stick microphones from the computer, because you could hear the background, you could hear cars in the background.
The garage door opens.
The garage door opens.
Damn it, Mom, I'm recording it here.
I'm working.
But like, so it was going through iterations of that scene, and I remember like I told her the two that stood out most to me that were just like hilarious and scary were the German translation.
Well, yeah, everything in German.
No.
Yeah, because that's exactly what he says. It's like, no, that's impossible. Nein, ich bin dein Vater. You're just like, holy crap.
Also, please excuse our, accents.
Yeah,
We're not,
accents.
We're not Germans.
But then I lost it when I heard French, because it was just like, here's this heavy moment where like Darth Vader's supposed to be like, he's
looking like James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl Jones, like really big and just menacing and stuff like that, and it's just like, no, je suis tu papa. Don papa. And I was just like, I can't take you seriously anymore.
But
and that's actually why Luke fell off.
Yeah.
He just started laughing so much.
But yeah, so he actually says, no, I am your father, not Luke, I am your father, and it's the same thing with Beam Me Up, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just.
The more you know.
And there goes our tangent. But getting
all tangent. Let's be honest.
So yeah, PC masterpiece.
PC master.
I'll never forget my first MMO, EverQuest.
Man, I'll never forget logging into
my
America
second girlfriend.
Oh man, there was nothing like logging into AOL.
Are you talking about
talking to strangers online?
Yes, ASL.
My second girlfriend played EverQuest. I had never heard of it until then.
I only heard of it
She
recently.
was arguing her legitimacy as a nerd because I didn't think she was a nerd. She was like, "No, I am. I play EverQuest." I was like, "The crap is EverQuest."
I was like,
she was like, "Follow me."
Believe it or not, EverQuest is actually the most recent game that I've played, and
oh no, it wasn't
that's
EverQuest. It wasn't EverQuest. It was RuneScape.
RuneScape
It was RuneScape.
My uncle was telling me about Ragnarok.
Right?
Ooh, let's bring it back. Ragnarok was like the shit, dude. Like he was like, oh, look at this, and I was like, what is this? What is this land?
It was like, no, Ragnarok was. Wait, okay, I know you don't know about Ragnarok. Did you know about Ragnarok?
I don't know about Ragnarok.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
There you go.
We missed the first time.
Second time's the charm.
Ragnarok was actually it was a Korean RPG, but it was like. It was all sprite animation.
Based on Norse mythology?
Based on Norse mythology, actually, yeah.
From the
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So
the apocalypse and all that crap.
When was Ragnarok out? It was like
Bro, I'm like Googling
It was like
it
early
right
2000s, right?
Let
Or
me
like
see.
late 1990s?
No, it's gotta be late 1990s because I saw that shit when I was like 9.
Yeah. So no, it was like wildly success. I mean, it didn't necessarily achieve the same success that EverQuest did at the time, but like it still had like this global following.
It's not. I was wrong. 2002.
Boom.
You were
right. I know my games.
You sure do.
So yeah, Ragnarok came out, and basically what drew people to it was the art style because it was all sprite animation. It was very similar to like playing Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was like those kind of small sprites and all that stuff.
Yeah, like small little what's it called?
You could
I don't
become
know. I can't think
players
right now.
can become transcendent classes. New map content is constantly being added to the game. Is there?
It's still around.
Oh shit!
It's still around.
Oh shit! We're gonna have a Ragnarok discussion
But
Next week.
next week coming soon.
But like what drew people to it is that it was actually, all things considered, when you really consider the mechanics of the game, it was one of the OG open world MMOs. Because like EverQuest was kind of sandboxy in the sense that, like, okay, let's take a quick step back and talk about like the MMO history for like 2 seconds. So Meridian 59 is actually the first MMO that ever came out.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So that was kind of ridiculous because like basically it was like pay per minute
Yeah. Oh,
to
okay.
play. Yeah.
Oh god.
So
like sex.
It must have been the best game ever.
no, it was ridiculous. But it had a following, like people would actually play it. So it was one of the original MMOs, and it was like this weird combination of like drawn graphics, like hand drawn graphics. It was kind of like Doom. It was kind of like Doom graphics on MMO style.
Okay, so it was kind of like 2D almost, but in like a 3-dimensional world.
In
So
a
it's
3D,
like if there were cardboard cutouts
Yeah,
running around a 3-dimensional world.
exactly. That's
Okay.
basically what it was. So you had Meridian 59, and that kind of like it was kind of a hit or miss. Like it was really big in cyber cafes at the time. You would pay per minute anyways. So, but what really brought MMOs to the forefront was EverQuest. So EverQuest came out around 1999, if I remember correctly, with just like EverQuest, and then you had EverQuest Ruins of Kunark, the first expansion. They've had like 50 expansions since, but that's not
All the expansions.
Yeah, all the expansions. So MMOs started to kind of gain some traction. It's like, hey, I mean, aside from the fact that internet was a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
By that point,
I imagine that's why it was pay per minute towards the beginning.
Yeah, towards the beginning because not everybody had
Because
internet.
it's so friggin' expensive.
But internet became a heck of a lot more accessible at the time, of course, and then you had the advent of DSL and cable and all that stuff. So Ragnarok Online came out around 2002, from a Korean developer whose name escapes me at the moment.
Hold up, I got this.
Who is it?
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun,
dun,
dun.
Lee Myung-jin.
Boom!
Lim Young.
I
Was
don't
that
know
the
if
name of
that's
the
right or
company,
not.
or was that the name of the developer?
That was based on the manhwa Ragnarok by Lee Myung-jin.
Okay.
That's a person.
Lee Myung-jin.
What did you ask me?
The developer. The name of the developer
Developer
company.
name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's
I
what
don't
we're
want
looking
to
for.
read.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. So anyways, like EverQuest was a little sandboxy,
Gravity.
but like, Gravity. That's right. So, but MMOs at the time, like we got used to World of Warcraft, where like everybody, all the quest givers had like this little exclamation point around their head. You had, it's like, hey, go here to finish your quest. Like back then, it was basically like create your character. All right, figure it out.
Bitches.
Yeah. Like it was brutal. Like EverQuest was ridiculous because like you would gain levels, and up to level 5 was like the tutorial.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me so much. Do you remember that Kim Possible episode where they were playing the RPG and like at the beginning, like you didn't even get to pick like your character. It puts you in the game as a random class.
Oh wow.
You got to pick gender and you got to pick name, but then it picked everything else for you. And like pretty much all of the game, it was just figuring out what the crap to do.
Yeah.
And like Rufus, like the little mole rat, he was actually like the Tunnel
Make a
Lord,
mole
which was
rat.
like this god of a character. Like it was just randomly selected.
Yeah.
And so like Kim Possible comes out, she's like a little pixie.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And then Ron's like a normal like villager. He was like pretty much what he is in normal in like reality.
Yeah.
He was just average,
Hey,
right?
he was Ron-stoppable.
And then like
okay?
the whole stoppable.
Yeah, stoppable.
And
Yeah,
then
but
the
it's
whole
supposed
episode,
to be unstoppable.
the whole episode, it was like Wade, their nerd friend, feeding him like stuff from like the nerd black market, like these tips on how to actually get through the game.
Yeah.
To progress, but like it like what EverQuest, like it's reminding me of that because
Yeah.
like there's no tutorial in the game.
No.
You like it's just like, oh yeah, use this thing to get out of this place, and then like you just got to figure it out.
You just got to figure it out. So like, yeah, level 1 through 5 was basically like your intro to it.
Yeah.
After that, you started losing experience. Level 6, if you lost experience when you died. So not only would you lose experience, but then you would lose all of the items on your body. So you would respawn, and you would have to go to your corpse if you remembered where it was. Yeah. Essentially, like basically nude. I mean, they had loincloths for the character models. You didn't have like a wang flopping about. But
It's not like what's it called?
Conan. Yeah. the most recent Conan.
Or Rust.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, no, you had to run to your corpse in order to pick up your items, your gold, and all that stuff, and you still wouldn't recover experience. So level 6, level 7 wasn't too big a deal because it's not like you had a bunch of items, and it's not like you had a ton of experience. But like once you got past like 10 or 15, it hurt.
Yeah.
Like I remember I destroyed a keyboard. Granted, I was like 13. I had just made it to level 16. At the time, the level cap was like 50 or 60.
Okay.
But it took me weeks to get to level 16. And I had just gotten spells for my new mage and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, let's go take this thing on because I'm more powerful now.
Yeah.
I died.
Mistake.
I died. Lost my level. Lost my spells. And I just destroyed the keyboard. And I was like, screw this game.
See this talking about parenting. If my kid did that, no gaming ever. Buy your own stuff.
Oh, no,
I do know. You know what? Oh man, that's a whole different topic. I don't know how to go into that.
Go into parenting techniques.
Yeah.
When that happened, I lost my gaming privileges.
What are we at? Like an hour 20 already?
We're at
No,
110.
not just
Oh, okay, I was
losing
close.
gaming privileges, but fine, you can buy your own.
Yeah.
Buy your own stuff.
If my parents were way more supportive on the things that I actually like doing, I probably would be a completely different person.
Well, I like this person.
That's true.
What are you saying, Ray?
So,
Oh God! Keep it in your pants.
getting back to Ragnarok. Like,
Oh yeah, let's get back to Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was
That
actually kind of
thing.
like it was more open world. Players can kind of like basically I wouldn't say it was 100% player run economy, but like you can craft a bunch of different things. You had it was innovative in the sense that like gear in EverQuest was utilitarian. Like you got gear to level up, but you had gear in Ragnarok that was purely aesthetic.
Yeah.
You could like dress your character up with bunny ears.
Fancy clothes.
Yeah, no,
that
fancy
was super
clothes.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, and it was super cool. And like you had like specialty classes and all that stuff. I think like you would level up, and then you would pick a base class, and then you would level that class up, and then it would branch off into say like if you picked fighter, it would branch off into like crusader or paladin, or like paladin or mercenary or something like that. I forget exactly what the classes
Well, I already just checked, and apparently Ragnarok is online on Steam, so that'll be the end of my life now.
There's Ragnarok, there's Ragnarok 2, and the spiritual successor, which was Tree of Savior.
All right. So to conclude, PC is the best. Is that what we decided?
No, we did not decide that. We did
Nah,
absolutely
Nah, bruh.
Nah, brah.
No, we did not decide that.
We haven't even gone to like gaming types. We talked a little bit about like RPGs, but I mean like
Guys, we need to have like a 24-hour podcast because I think an hour and a half is just
it's
not
not
It's never gonna
enough.
work out. It's never gonna work. We have too many things to say.
There's just so much stuff to talk about. It's ridiculous.
There is, but we can save that for another time.
We can save that for our event. Woo!
Oh,
Segue.
What is this?
Professional segue.
Cool transition.
Wait! I gotta bring us back. I haven't even told any of my stories yet.
Damn.
Damn it, Reed.
Messed up the transition.
Yeah.
Now we can transition.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All about the segue, baby.
I don't know how to close now.
That's what she said.
And that's basically where this podcast went. Yep.
Yep, that's where it is, guys. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to our channel, as well as check our Facebook group on Las Vegas Gamers Unite for future events. We've got an event coming in on
April 8th.
on April 8th, as well
March
as
28th as well.
March 28th,
Yes.
Empire Game Shop. There's going to be a demo for a Walking Dead game, as well as all of our lovely faces. So if you guys would like to join us, we would be more than happy to have you.
Yep. And for those of you not in Vegas, like Natalie said, feel free to like and subscribe on our podcasts. We're working on getting this uploaded to SoundCloud and making this better for you guys. Even if you're not in Vegas, feel free to join. Ask for membership into the page, into the Facebook page. Just we'll add you as long as you're not a bot. And feel free to submit questions, anything that you guys want to listen to here, anything you didn't like about the show, let us know. And as usual, basically the goal for Las Vegas Gamers Unite is to bring gamers together, and not just for the camaraderie, not just to get us all together and playing video games, but at the same time, what we want to do, Natalie and I, is we want to help you guys build a business, kind of like educate you guys on finances, how to handle your finances, and take charge of your financial future so that you can do what we all want to do, and that is essentially have the time to play games, because we've built the business to bring in the passive income, to give us the freedom to buy the time.
What he's saying is help me help you.
Help me help you.
Yeah.
And we're going back. We're going way back to Jerry Maguire. But, yep.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else have anything to add?
And
don't forget to Cavalier Gamer.
Yes.
So if you guys want to reach out to us personally, when it comes to either
But only with consent, though.
yes. Yes means yes, and no means no.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Later, nerds.
Bye, nerds.